And ladies and gentlemen, I think we may have lost the stream. I know we've lost it on the YouTube side. Trying to verify if Facebook's still up and running. Everything just dropped off the face of the earth all of a sudden. Trying to reconnect. It shows we're still connected. Well, we're recording. We're going to post the last 26 laps of this race after the fact. Unfortunately, I don't know what has caused it. We have lost our live stream capabilities. I don't have any indication or even warnings up on my end that tells me there was an issue other than the fact it just dropped right out. So again, we're going to continue. We're going to record this. We'll do the tape delay thing as soon as we get finished up here. We'll get it posted so you guys can see the end of the race. You're probably watching this portion of the race. It's not live. It's recorded. So my apologies for that, guys. Don't know what happened. It jumped off both YouTube and Facebook at the exact same time, but never mind that. We got a race to call. We're going to call it. 25 laps to go. Gary Lipinski out in front still, amazingly. No, not really. He's been lights out since the drop of the green flag tonight. Winner of Stage 1, winner of Stage 2. We'll see if he can sweep the afternoon here and take the checkered flag and win this thing. Mike Rominger, he's going to want to have something to say about it. Paul Witt, he's been up there, and looky, it's the 15 of Noel Coors. He has slowly but surely and quietly worked his way back towards the front of the field. Again, he started, I think, outside front row. Not sure exactly what has put him towards the rear of the field throughout the race, but here he is in the top 5. Earl Lateral sits in the 5th position behind the 15. Cars shuffling back and forth off turn number 2. Jared McCauley, Norman Clark, Craig White. Got Everett Lane there in the 24. Now we're 3 wide 4 position. Craig White in the middle. Norman Clark on the bottom. Jared McCauley up top. 22 laps to go. Things are starting to get a little feisty here at the Speedway. Challenge for the lead. Mike Rominger tucked in close behind Gary Lipinski with 21 laps to go. Again, you got to wonder, is Rominger just trying to force the issue here? I don't think he's ready to make a pass unless the door really opens wide. He's trying to force the issue, trying to pressure the 78, get him to burn up his stuff here, trying to maintain that top spot. There's 3 drivers here right now in contention for this win, but if they all get together, they get a problem between the 3 of them. It's going to open the door wide for Noel Coors and Earl Lateral. Earl got into the wall, so some damage to the 12, but he's still maintaining that 5th position, so maybe the damage not too terrible. $20 laps to go. Is Lipinski out in front? Excuse me. Mike Rominger, 2nd. Paul Witt, Noel Coors, Earl Lateral, the top 5. Rominger to the bottom. trying to take the top spot away. We're less than 20 to go. 19 left. Rominger to the bottom. Zlipinski up top. Paul Witt trying to make a decision. Which way does he want to go? Down the backstretch, he stays with the 78. It's about a car length back, though. He's not tucked up tight enough to really give a push. Rominger drives it deep into turn 3, slides up the racetrack, has to check up to avoid contact with Zlipinski. Off turn number 4, once again, Zlipinski maintains the top spot. Rominger put on a challenge, did not pay off. Other battles throughout the field. Jared McCauley at the head of this pack, but 3 wide behind him, the 77. Mike Martin, though he's not a lead lap car. .909 is Stepanich off turn number 2, slides up. Man, oh man, it was close. I thought he was going to get a piece of the 04 on corner exit. He does not. 77 on much newer tires. That's why he's cutting through the field the way that he is. He pit at lap 80. Everybody else pit at lap 55 or so. '69 to James Randall. His tires are from lap 78, so he's going to be a bit quicker out there as well. Harold Decker, even through that first crash that they had at the end of the stage, or I'm sorry, early on in the race, burned a faster pair, but through the cautions that we've had the rest of this evening, Decker has gotten himself back on the lead lap in the 12th position. .15 laps to go. The top 3 remain unchanged. A caution would certainly change things considerably. So Rominger made his move at about lap 19. He was able to get side by side with Zlipinski. Was not able to complete the pass or clear the 78. In fact, drove it in way deep. I believe it was turn number 3. Had to lift to avoid contact. Curious to see how desperate he will be as this race gets closer and closer to its conclusion. As the 77 comes rolling in through with fresh tires, he's going to make short work of the leaders. Get one of his laps back. Rominger has backed off a bit, about 3 or 4 car lengths between himself and Zlipinski. Not sure if this is tire giving up on the 951 or if he's just trying to cool things down and get ready to make a run. And those of you watching this portion of the broadcast, I think we came on with 26 laps to go. This is a recorded version. We lost the live feed. Not 100% sure what has caused it. We've been rock solid for quite a while. We lost Facebook and YouTube at the exact same time with no warning. So we clicked the record button, and we're going to at least make sure we cover this whole race for you guys. And with 12 laps to go, it's shaping up to be a good one. It may not be a big pack at the front, but there's a handful of cars here that are in contention. Paul Witt, Mike Rominger, Gary Lipinski in reverse order, third to first. Lipinski still out in front where he's been most of the night. And again, one stage one, one stage two, and he's led the most laps in this stage and maybe the whole race at this point. We'd have to go back post-race and look at the graphic to see who led the most laps, but it is significantly weighed towards the 78. Meanwhile, Lipinski and Rominger remain close together, but Paul Witt is starting to lose touch with these three. With these four, again, there's a couple of lap cars mixed into this, so you'll see them come into frame here. This may play a part. You wonder if it's going to mess up the aerodynamics of the 78. These two lap cars that may make their way around. They're awful racy with the top two here, with coming to 10 laps to go. James Randall not on the lead lap. John Stepanich also not on the lead lap, but they're racing with the top two here with 10 to go. So now there's one lap car in between the leader and Rominger. I don't understand this portion. These guys are multiple laps down, racing with the leaders. And I didn't catch it, but that may be why Paul Witt got disconnected the way that he has. Again, Witt back over a second now in third place behind the top two. Rominger real loose, and so is Witt. Witt got a piece of the wall off turn two. James Randall seems to be just content riding there behind Gary Lipinski, in between himself and Rominger as they come to 8 laps to go. Lipinski stays high. Randall goes to the bottom here. Again, a lap car. So Randall now puts himself back on the lead lap. So he was a 1 lap down machine. Stepanich is currently 1 lap down. So with that, though, this late in the race, I can't blame him too terribly for trying to work his way past the leader. Really, he only needed to stay out in front of Stepanich because he would have gotten a lucky dog nonetheless. But if Stepanich is putting the power down, he's trying to fight for that position between himself and Randall. It just so happened those guys with some fresher tires, they kind of intermixed in with the leaders. It is what it is. It's racing. It happens. But luckily, everybody got through it without an incident. But the gap from first to second has been stretched out. We come to 6 laps to go. Lipinski, 0.3 of a second over Mike Rominger. It's about 4 or 5 car lengths as they cross the stripe. 6 laps to go into turn number 1. Noel Kors now, he's up to P3. Paul Witt has lost these top 2 significantly. He's back to P4, 4 seconds behind Gary Lipinski. Kors 3.6 seconds in the rear view. Got a ways to go, but again, we talked about it previously. A caution coming out would absolutely change everything. Deficit closed down. Rominger 2 car lengths off the back bumper as they work off turn number 2. Lipinski still with the lead. Rominger is there. I don't know if he was just saving some tire for the last handful of laps to see what he can do with the 78. Lipinski's been pretty untouchable all afternoon long, putting that Ford Mustang in the wind. Mike Rominger would love nothing more than to put that Chevrolet out in front of the 78, but he's got only 4 laps left to do it. Less than 4 laps to go as Lipinski. Just a few more to go before he can take this checkered flag. Three laps to go from Michigan's. Lipinski out in front. Rominger second. Coors now third, but he is still not gaining ground. This is going to come down between the 78 and the 951 if we stay green to the finish. Coors back in the third spot unchallenged. He's got a 1.5 second lead over Paul Witt. Norman Clark now up to P5. Craig White right to his back bumper. That battle shaping up. Earl Latterall still in the 8th spot. Again, not indicative of the night he had so far. He was up front almost all night long. First stages, he was fabulous out there. Led some laps. Battling for the top spot was Lipinski quite a bit. But again, it seems that right front damage that he got into the wall, that's affected him considerably. Still hanging tough, though, in the top 10. Back out front, though, 2 to go. Gary Lipinski with the lead. Mike Rominger second. Still 3/10 between these two drivers. You got to wonder, is Rominger just waiting and waiting and waiting for the perfect opportunity? He almost might need to set him up here, exit a 4. Try to get that run out of the corner, get nice and tight to the bumper into 3, and make a late charge. He was only able to get side by side the last time he made an attempt. So we get to the white flag here. Last lap from Michigan. We'll see if he's got anything for him as that gap increases. It's 0.4 of a second, about 4 car lengths back to Rominger. Don't know if he's close enough to make a move. Final lap off turn number 2, down the back straightaway. The gap still increasing. It's almost a half second back to Rominger. I don't think he's got enough to do it. This one's going to go to Lipinski unless something major happens in the middle of 3 and 4. Gary Lipinski started on the outside front row, but he won stage 1, he won stage 2, and he's going to win this final stage and the race here from Michigan Speedway. Gary Lipinski takes the checkered flag. Second place goes to Mike Rominger. Noel Coors will be third, Paul Witt fourth, and Norman Clark. No, they switch it up. Looks like Norman Clark and Paul Witt switch spots coming to the line. Clark takes P4, Witt to P5. We'll have to be sure. We'll check the results post-race to confirm. Gary Lipinski comes to a stop on the front straightaway. Your race winner here at Michigan. Dialing that brake bias all the way to the nose of that Ford Mustang. Let's see if he lights him up here. He's having some troubles getting that thing lit up. We've seen the same thing happen really in the real world. This tire is so big, it's hard to get them going. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, step aside. We'll be back, hopefully with our top 3 finishers after this.
great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Michigan Speedway, the Old Fart Sim Racing League, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series, race number 8 here from Michigan Speedway. It's in the books. Gary Zlipinski has put on an absolute clinic here tonight. Let's get a word with Gary, pull him up into the broadcast booth, and talk to our race winner. Gary, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a copy? So we've talked to you a few times tonight already. We didn't get the first interview over the air. We got the second one over the air, but you've swept all 3 stages, won this race. Tell us about that final stage. We know you were trying to save. You got an early caution to give you a little bit better tire, but tell us about the rest of that stage 3.
Yeah, wow, those guys were tough. I think clean air is king, and I was just trying to give them all the dirty air they can use up, because that was the only way I was going to keep this car out front. Because I noticed once I got out in the back there or side by side, it's tough. It was really, really tough. I had to use the tire up, and the plan was just enough wherever they're at, just to give them dirty air, because that was the only way I was going to win that thing. It was really good though.
Certainly seemed like being out front was the place to be. I know Mike got to you a couple of times, maybe got to the inside once, drove it way deep into turn 3. I don't know if there was contact, but he definitely had to lift. That was really the closest he got from there on out. Was there anything else that you think he may have been able to do to get by you, or did you just have everybody covered tonight?
He definitely drove it in there deep, and he got side by side with me, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect it. He just came on to me, and I was like, whoa, I better kick it up a notch here. So I figured if I was in the Highline there, I figured I might have an advantage. So I just used that to my advantage and got the runs off the corner. And I think Paul was behind me, which kind of helped. So I had a little bit of air behind me, helped me go through the front or back stretch to pass him.
Well, Gary, either way, congratulations on the victory here tonight. We've got a couple more of these left before the season is over, but we're going to let you go. Before we do, is there anybody you need to thank?
Well, Steve, I'd like to thank you. You do a great job here for these Old Farts league here, and I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank you a whole lot for that. I'd like to thank the Old Farts for putting this on for us. I'd like to thank everybody out there that's listening to this. These guys do an awesome job. Please come week in, week out to watch these guys. It's a lot of fun. The racing's only going to get better, so enjoy. And for my wife and family, let me do this.
Oh man, you almost got in big trouble. You almost forgot, but you didn't. You got her in, so nice job. Again, Gary, congratulations, man. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
It's Gary Zlipinski, your race winner, and we do have Mike Rominger in the booth. We'll pull him up. He is our second place finisher, not our race winner. Let's see. Mike Rominger, Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Mike, congratulations on P2. It wasn't for a lack of trying. You almost got alongside and had that pass made on Zlipinski there late. I saw almost some contact. I think it might have been into turn number 3. You had to lift just a little bit, and I think that was all the shot that you had. What did it look like from your perspective? Was there anything else you could have done maybe to get to him? Rough him up a little bit? I don't know, but second place still isn't too bad, but tell us about it.
Yeah, I just needed a bit more right front there at the end. I think I wore it down a little racing on the bottom, early in that run. But yeah, Gary did a heck of a job. He's a good one.
Gary was talking about how clean air is king, and we know that just about everywhere we go. But was the dirty air in behind the 78 really affecting your car pretty bad, or was it kind of not noticeable?
I don't think so much right directly behind him. It's when you got up beside of him in the corner, it would just, the nose would just take off, and I couldn't get enough turn out of it.
Saw some instances where you guys were side by side. You were pushing up the racetrack, then all of a sudden those front tires catch a little bit of grip, and now it's the opposite problem, and you're facing the infield. We saw that happen with you a couple of times. Managed to keep it straight and continue on. Was that kind of a tight, loose situation there?
Yeah, if you go over the seams, it kind of upsets the car a little bit, and you don't quite know what it's going to do, until it does it. So yeah, it's a fine line through there.
Well, either way, congratulations on P2. It was a good race to watch. I thought you might have had something for him there, but next week, I think we go to Indianapolis. That's going to be a completely different animal. What are your thoughts going out to the big track at Indy?
Well, I'd like to win because that's my home track. So yeah, I'd like to get after it.
Home race for Mike Rominger. We'll be very excited to watch that one. Mike, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank all you guys up in the booth. Bring it to the people and the owners of the league and yeah. I hope I get out there and score some more points and get that points, into my favor. But it's been a good year, so I'm happy.
Rominger trying to get a championship. Mike, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week in Indianapolis.
Thank you, guys.
All right, glad we got Mike up in here. We weren't sure we were going to get to him because he wasn't in the chat at first. Next up, third place finisher, Noel Kors. I'm really excited to talk to Noel. Noel, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Steve.
Noel, congratulations on P3. You took the pole here tonight, and I don't recall what shuffled you back into the pack, but I think you spent most of the race quietly working your way back towards the front. Tell us about your race and what may have put you in the back.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, lap 2, 3 there. I just had a run. I wanted to get out front for bonus points, so I kind of laid back around Earl and Gary there, and I got a run. I was going to try to drop down below and just click off a lap for the bonus points. And it got tight, and I rubbed the wall there, and from then on, it was just fighting. The restarts, everybody is just so aggressive. You got to, try to find the balance between driving hard and keeping tire on it.
Well, you did a good job at that. Obviously, being towards the back, you had to be careful working your way through the traffic and saving your stuff in the meantime. It was late in the race. You took over the third position. I think Paul Witt burned his stuff up a little bit too early in the run, and he started to drop back. But was there anything you could have done different? I know lap 2 you kind of aced yourself, but I don't know. Third place isn't too bad, right?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with the third. Yeah, I could have just kind of tucked in line and rode it out and let it play it out a little bit more than I did. I just got a little too greedy there in the first few laps. Like I said, trying for them bonus points. But, man, it's a hell of a race. These cars are just so hard to pass. You get on the bottom and you'll just burn the tires up, especially if you ain't got no help down there. And then if you do get help, it'll step out in the center on you. So it's really hard to get momentum down the back stretch, especially when they're lined up. It's really hard to pass. So,
well, you guys made it look good. There was plenty of action from the front all the way to the back all night long. Again, congratulations on P3, Noel. We're going to let you go. Before we do, is there anybody you need to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Concrete Floors, Steve, you, and Whole Fart Sim Racing, my family, and yeah, just iRacing. So thanks for broadcasting. Have a good night. Bud.
All right, Noel, appreciate it. And again, congratulations. Good luck next week at Indy.
Thank you, sir.
Was Noel Kors your third place finisher here from Michigan Speedway? Again, forgive me and my voice and lack of talking tonight. Starting to get a little bit of a sickness going on here, so we're going to try and work through it. We got another broadcast tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in for that. That will be the Lone Star Racing Truck Series. That is our last race of the week, and then we go back Monday, Tuesday. Next week, we've got the Lone Star Racing Sports Car Series. Then Tuesday, we go back to playoff racing with the Superior Class Auto Racing Premier Series. And then we're back here once again Wednesday at Indianapolis for the Old Farts Racing League next gen concrete floors next gen Cup Series. I'll be all right. Out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that's going to be a fun one to watch. Real curious to see how these cars handle out there. Haven't seen or called any races at Indy in this car just yet. Certainly looking forward to that. Let's go through our race results. Talked to our top three already. Gary Slapinski, Mike Rominger, Noel Coors. Norman Clark was 4th, Paul Witt 5th. Craig White was P6. 7th was Jared McCauley. Mike Howlett was 8th. Earl Latterell finished 9th. Harold Decker was 10th. Josh Deese 11th. Everett Lane was 12th. Joe Green finished 13th. Mike Martin 14th. Alan McEwen finished in the 15th position. Corey Gray, after contact with the wall, 16th. Tom Pritchard 17th. James Randall was 18th. John Stepanich 19th. John Schooneman was 20th. Frank Gramuglia was 21st. And Brad Allison and Larry Eddy credited with 22nd and 23rd, though they did not take the green, possibly here in an admin role, but still classified. Again, thank you guys all for watching. Sorry we had to do a part 2 for this. Again, this is the recorded portion, not the live portion. With about 27 laps to go, the stream completely dropped out. I think it was there. I'll have to go back and relook it. But we at least got the last 26 laps recorded. I think the first half should be up. Crossed fingers on that one. You'll be able to go watch that. And then when it breaks off at the end, you can jump over and watch part 2. I'll get this one loaded up here tonight, so you guys don't miss that. Hopefully by the end of the evening or even early tomorrow morning, it should be ready to go. Again, my apologies. Don't know what happened there. Didn't have any warning, but just lost both streams at the exact same time. So maybe a hiccup with the internet. I don't know. I didn't lose iRacing, so we'll have to figure it out. It's the first one in quite some time. Again, thank you all for watching. Thanks for interaction within the stream chat. If you haven't already done so, like, follow, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications, facebook.com/HBRTV and the number 1. Also on YouTube, HBRTV and the number 1. We make it really easy to find us on both platforms. You don't need a YouTube account to watch us. You might need a Facebook account to watch us here. So you kind of got to pick. If you got both, great. Follow us on both. We do appreciate it. It's going to wrap it up for me. I'm going to go get a cough drop, maybe a cold beverage, go to bed. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.